Hi Roses, my name is Tianna and welcome to today's reading. This is the upcoming week for water signs. So that is if you have a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, sun, moon, or rising sign. If you do not but still feel called to this reading, please feel free to stick around. I am recording this for the week of March 1st. However, this is a timeless reading, so whenever you are coming across this video, please feel free to take it if it resonates. If you enjoy this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you would like more tarot content from me, you can find my Twitter at Tianna Rose Tarot or use the link in the description box to book a personal reading with me. First, we have the card Buds, New Beginnings and Expansion. And then we have the card Seeds, New Ideas, Hope, and Open-Mindedness. So both of these cards represent new beginnings, calling in new things. If you've been looking for a sign that something new is coming into your life, this is it. This is an extremely strong and powerful message of hope coming into your life. It might not look the way that you originally expected. It might not be exactly what you were hoping for, but it is something new. It is the start of a new opportunity that is going to be able to bring so much beauty into your life, so much positivity. This specific situation may not necessarily be what is going to take you all of the way there, but it is the start of that. And so as this starts coming in, you're going to start noticing all of these other opportunities coming into your life as well. So make sure that you're not just gripping on to whatever the first thing that you see is, because that might just be the start of a long line of amazing opportunities for you. But it is kind of indicating that momentum building, new growth coming in, especially with the spring coming in soon. This is a very strong message of new opportunities, new growth. Anything that you've been really manifesting is coming to you now, or you're at least going to start seeing signs of it. If it might not be exactly all the way there yet, but that is coming in its own time. This is the first moment where it breaks through the soil, where you start to see like, yes, this can happen, and you're reminding yourself that everything that you are desiring is possible. The problem is a lot of people start to see that and then they grab onto it, and then if that starts to fall away, they give up hope again. So make sure that you are keeping that momentum going by recognizing that this is just the start of this process. And it is still important, but it might not be the end goal. This is an important part where you recognize that, yes, this can happen. And then you keep yourself going in that momentum, in that energy, and calling in more and more positivity to your life. Let's see what else is coming in this week. First, we have the 8 of Cups. And then we have Temperance. So this is a very interesting energy for you guys. The 8 of Cups representing something in your life that you might need to step away from. There is potentially something here that you have been putting in a lot of time and energy, or something that you did that with in the past. Some of you, this is romantic. This does not necessarily have to be, but the idea that I just got in my head was if you have been in a romantic connection for a long time and noticing that that is no longer in alignment. This could also be friendships no longer being in alignment, or a specific career path, a specific job. This is something that maybe, again, at the beginning you felt really excited about, but then as time went on, starting to realize that that wasn't necessarily the end goal for you. And so remember that you can continue moving forward, that this is not a complete setback, that it might be difficult to let something go, but that it is an important part of that process so that you can move towards what's actually aligned for you. And then with Temperance, this is the energy of bringing those things back into balance, remembering that this is all part of this journey. There is so much beauty here. We have this rainbow, the sun, these angel wings. and bringing all of these things that may have been out of alignment in the past into alignment for you now. Remembering why you are doing all of this, and also remembering that it's not necessarily always going to be sunshine and rainbows, but that it is going to be something that can be sustainable for you going forward, the more that you lean into that balance, that moderation, so that it can be sustainable. A couple of cards here. First, we have the card Mask. It says not showing true feelings, hiding, personify, pretend, delude, or gaslighting. So there could be someone in this situation who has not been completely authentic or upfront with you. This could also be something that you haven't been doing either. This does not necessarily need to be malicious or consciously hiding or pretending or deceiving you in any way. That could be the case for some of you, but oftentimes this is somebody who really did want to give you what they could, but realized that they just weren't able to do that. And this is also something that I'm sure you know for yourself can come up so easily when we want something really badly. We try to kind of morph ourselves into that type of situation, into what this person might be looking for, into what this job might be asking us to do, even though it's not really aligned for us. So now we're realizing, okay, maybe this isn't actually what I was meant to do in this situation. Maybe this was an opportunity, maybe this was a chance for me to grow, and now you can go through that growth process and actually let that go so you can make room for what is coming in next. We have the card Hammer, which can talk about self-sabotage or sabotage in general, rebuilding, being persistent, working on it. So there could be something here where you have been really trying to work on it. You haven't really wanted to let it go yet. You've been trying to figure out if you can come into a balance with this person or with this opportunity, this situation that you are in. You've been trying to make it work any way that you can, but you may need to realize that no matter how you try, some situations may just not be aligned for you. And maybe you could make them work if you force them to work, but you shouldn't have to force this. This is something that should come naturally, that this Temperance card is especially reminding you that this is supposed to be in flow. This is supposed to work for you, work with you in your life. It is not supposed to be something that you're constantly butting up against, or you feel like you have to change yourself or ask somebody else to change. So make sure that you're keeping that in mind. And lastly, we have the card Passion, insane chemistry, like each other equally, having fun. So for some of you, as I was mentioning, this might not be something that can always be super passionate, super high energy. This is about balance. And so you may be called to people or situations that feel super exciting, very high energy, but oftentimes you can see that this is actually somebody putting on a bit of a show, or that this isn't necessarily the way that either of you or you and this other situation can show up consistently and sustainably. So for some of you, you might be recognizing that it is important to choose something that is more sustainable and consistent rather than intense in this very fiery, passionate energy. But that does not mean that you need to let go of that energy in some capacity, that there is always going to be this passion, ideally, in the endeavors that you take on. That you should still look for people that excite you. You should still look for opportunities, for jobs, for friendships that feel inspiring to you, but that there's not gonna be all of the time, everything all at once, that there might be moments that are more quiet. There might be times when things feel a bit harder. There might be conflict that you work through, but you do so in a very healthy way. That is what you are working towards. And so it's about recognizing the difference between something that might be very passionate but burn out quickly, or something where you feel like you always have to work at it, something that feels like you have to kind of change who you are in order to fit into that situation. There is a middle ground where you can both have something that is really inspiring, interesting to you, and exciting, while also being balanced and long-term, sustainable, compatible, all of those things. And so if you're starting to find yourself in a situation that isn't serving you anymore, does not feel aligned, or for some of you, this is a situation you've already left and now you're looking for something new, you may feel a bit scared as to how you're going to know what that looks like when you enter a new situation. But this reading and reflecting on all of these things will help you to realize what it is that you're actually looking for, what you're actually trying to feel in these situations, and recognizing that you don't have to be perfect, that you can continue to work on things, that there may be moments that you don't show up completely authentically, and that it might not always be fun, but that you still do get to enjoy it, that this is something that you get to step into as authentically as you can, and hopefully find situations where you are aligned in. And if you notice that you're not aligned, that doesn't mean that your manifestations didn't work. It doesn't mean that you got on the wrong track. It means that you need to continue moving on to the next thing, because this is not necessarily a situation where the first thing that comes in is the right thing. You are continuing to grow and continuing to get to new positions where you might outgrow certain things from your past, or you might learn new things about yourself that makes you recognize that somebody is not compatible for you. But the more that you learn how to do that, the more that you're going to notice those things earlier in new situations. And so you're carrying that with you. That is not something where you have to start completely over. Please remember that there are new things coming in, that there are always new opportunities. Do not settle on any of those things. Do not force yourself into a situation that isn't working out. There are opportunities out there for you, and a lot of good things coming into your life in this week and in the coming weeks. So please keep those things in mind. Thank you, water signs.